Hi Pooja, welcome to this debriefing session. First of all, many congratulations on scoring 710 with a breakup of uh, Q49 and V38. So, how are you feeling?
I am feeling ecstatic. I'm feeling like I don't think I've ever felt so happy. Like any exam I've given in my life, I think this breaks all of them. Yeah.
You have taken a couple of GMAT couple of times earlier also before you started off with e-GMAT. So, how was your preparation there? How did you prepare? How was your experience overall there?
So yes, I had taken a couple of times before, and originally I started my preparation last year, January 2020, and I had actually taken up two other different courses down the line, and they were just not suited for me, is what I thought, because obviously I didn't see the scores. I saw the incremental increase in my scores, like 10 points, 20 points, but I couldn't see the score increment that I really wanted to see. And it's not that those courses were bad, or maybe it's just that I think that it was not for me. It was not designed for me. And it didn't actually pinpoint where I was going wrong or what I was doing wrong, and where my weaknesses are, where my strengths are. I just couldn't figure it out. It was actually pretty much like a solo tutoring going on there from with myself, not a lot of guidance. And basically what pretty much everybody was doing is first bringing in books and just doing your self study as much as you can, and that's what I did. And I think that's what led to those multiple exams not able to score the score that I wanted to score. And also the haste. I just had a haste that I wanted to achieve that score, and the more I was failing in it, I was more like, oh no, I really need to I need to get the score. It's not that I can't do it, it's just that I'm not studying enough. I need to put in more hours. But I was so wrong. It was not about putting in more hours. It was about quality more than quantity, and that's what I realized. Yes.
That's a very interesting point that you mentioned that it's not just about the numbers of hours you put in. It
Mm,
has to be a qualitative study over quantitative study. It's not just about the number of hours. Doesn't matter you prepare, you study for 24 hours a day, but at the end of the day, how much of that were you able to absorb? So it's always best to
absolutely.
give yourself some time. Haste is never good for your preparation.
Never. Like, if there is anybody out there doing their next GMAT, that will be my only advice, that be patient. Be patient. It will happen. So just don't run. Don't rush into booking exams, because I did that. I
Mm.
booked exam after exam thinking that, oh, 1 month's preparation would be more than enough for me to do. And I was so wrong, because it was not, because I was still unaware of what was wrong, and rather of me repeatedly failing created like an anxiety in me for failure, which was even worse, because that actually affected me more down the line. Rather than, if I had been in more control before, I might not have been as anxious in my giving the exam. I would have been much more confident when I was sitting in it. Yeah.
Absolutely fair. So you prepared with those resources for how long?
I would say 3 to 4 months each. Yeah.
And in total about 7 to 8 months, right? Or maybe
Yes,
a little
yes.
longer. So
So
after,
I initially started solo, like
Mhm.
absolutely nothing, just OGs.
Uh-huh.
Then I got in the first one, and I did the first one for, I would say, 3 4 months. And then after that, when I saw that the improvement is not great, I got the second one.
Mm.
And then because I thought that maybe I just need something different. Then I stuck with the second one for another 3 4 months until the month of December, because that's the month when I completely mentally broke down that I was
Mhm.
not getting my score. And I started fishing around in GMAT Club to see what can I do next. And the miracle called e-GMAT came in after that.
Great. So you studied for about 10 months and you were not able to get to your target score. Then after
Yes.
that, you went on looking on GMAT Club, and that's when you decided that you'll proceed further with the e-GMAT.
Yes.
So how was your preparation with e-GMAT? Any different from the resources that you previously used?
Yes. So it was very different, first of all. The first thing that I would absolutely like shout out with a foghorn is the meaning based approach, which is fabulous. Like, whoever came up with that concept should be given a Nobel Prize. they should be. And literally, I'm like, it's a game changer for people who do not know what meaning based approach for an SC question is, because I was so focused on the concept of splits and grammar, and I was always trying to find out what the error was with grammar. And sometimes it worked. And
Mhm.
people who are very good with grammar in English, they might find it helpful, but it was not my thing. I just needed something that would help me understand what I'm dealing with. And it actually opened my eyes up to the fact that SC is not that difficult. Sorry, not that difficult if you understand what the meaning is. And that was something which I never learned from any other courses. That was pure e-GMAT all throughout. And also the modules that were designed were, they were just perfect. Even the CR module for pre-thinking, like how do you need to have that pre-thinking in your head before you approach a question, not directly jump into answer choices, which is the thing that I used to do. I used to first try to look amongst the answer choices and see which is the most similar can I find among the answers, which makes more sense. And sometimes it used to work, but sometimes no. And you cannot, it's not, and this is not Russian roulette where you're just throwing something in and you can just expect, oh, maybe my luck might work this time. You can't do that when you're doing GMAT. So I think that also helped me. And it helped me a lot in quant, because quant is obviously my weak spot. And the breaking down of the topics and the information in the modules was very important for me. And I think that really helped me. And that was what it was different from the other courses, because I didn't see that much relatability between my issues and the things that were being taught. And also the best option was ask the expert, because you had every answer in there. Like even if there was a question that you might not have thought of, you can see
Mhm.
in there. And that's fabulous. Like that's something that really helped me. Yeah.
So you can also learn a lot from what questions did other students have in past. Uh, we'll talk about quant in detail because you
Absolutely.
mentioned that quant is your weakness, used to be your weakness, but then you ended up scoring Q49. And I saw your ESR also. You scored 100% of accuracy. You had 100% of accuracy in the third block, where the level of difficulty was also quite high, by the way. So we'll talk about quant in detail a little bit later towards the session. But firstly, I would like to thank you for such kind words for meaning-based approach. I'm sure Rajat and Payal would be so delighted to hear that it's
Oh,
all their
give my
weakness.
kindest regards to them. Like, oh my God. If I was part of the Nobel Committee, I would have given it to them for sure.
Thanks again for that. And one more thing that you also mentioned that the way modules are structured, that
Mm.
you first learn the foundation, you build foundation, learn the concepts, and then you practice a little bit on GMAT style, kind of easier questions, just so that you can actually learn the application bit. And once that is done, you then move on to solving more hard and 650, 750 kind of questions. But you first have your foundation in place, and that's absolutely correct.
Yes.
Before e-GMAT, you also mentioned that it was all yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that aspect change once you started preparing with e-GMAT?
So the biggest aspect that first changed was I was introduced to you. So that was
Thanks again.
great. Yes, because I think that the fact that I was doing it isolated was not enough. It was not helping me understand my weakness. Like, for example, I was taking too long in questions. My time based approaches was horrible all over the place. Like, I used to spend 3 minutes or 4 minutes in one question and 30 seconds in the other. It made no sense. And I think that the fact that I needed a third person's eye on it to see where I'm going wrong, what's going on, and I needed a structured plan. So, not just the fact that obviously you helped me build those structured plans, it is also the e-GMAT software that helps you do it. It helps you understand how you can break down your concepts, or how you can give time to specific aspects after, say, giving a quiz, or say, like, even going through like the normal strategic plan that you create at the beginning of the software. I think that helps you as well. And obviously the fact that I had the privilege to work with a e-GMAT expert was uh, like it was just fabulous. It helped me focus on my errors, which I was not able to focus on before. So I think that's what was the biggest difference between before, when I was studying alone. uh, and also I think sorry, sorry there. So also I think that the fact that before, when I was doing it alone, I was repeatedly making mistakes, even though I thought that I was not making the mistake. So but then I was thinking that maybe it's the fact that that question is wrong, like maybe the question
Okay.
is not right for me. So I was blaming
Mhm.
the question. That's how it became. But then when you came in and you told me that, Pooja, you need to kind of focus, your RC is strong, and your SC is weak, so maybe you focus on your SC. In quant, maybe this your arithmetic is stronger, but your algebra is not as strong, so maybe focus on algebra. So like, that focus, like that breaking, that segmented focus, I think that's really needed for especially a person who's like me. Anybody who's out there like me, you need it. I'm telling you. So I just think that that's what was the biggest difference
Again, you
there.
are
Yeah.
being a little too kind. I think one of the biggest reasons why you are able to bridge that whole gap is your dedication, because I knew what your work hours were, how stringent work conditions were, and yet you were able to put in so much of time for your prep. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why you were able to get to the score that you actually did. The kind of dedication, the kind of consistency, and this is something that a lot of students don't really appreciate enough. Appreciate the
Hmm.
consistency, and you had that. So
Yeah.
again, so
We-
it's all your hard work, is what I would
mhm.
say.
I absolutely appreciate you for saying that. And I would definitely say that people, like any person who's trying to give their GMAT now, they should just not give up. Like that's the last thing you should do. Like you should never give up. You should just, there's always help out there. There's always help out there.
Absolutely. So you continued with your prep, you took mocks, and you're actually scoring fantastically on the mocks as well. And then you took one attempt in April, which
Mhm.
really didn't go as per plan. So what went wrong there? What do you think? What happened there?
So I think the biggest problem that was there was my own anxiety.
Mm,
I don't think there was a big issue with my preparation, because obviously you had gone through my preparation, you had seen how I was doing in my mocks, and I was pretty confident after I gave the mock. But I think the fact of that repeated failure that happened a year ago, I was just very, like, that was somewhere just there in my head. That anxiety was just there. And no matter of number of hours of meditation and calming and pretending that it's a mock test, or pretending that you are not giving an exam, it's not a big deal. It works for some people. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it didn't work for me. It did not at all. That anxiety overpowered me that day, and I just had a really bad day. And like, honestly, I was, at that day, if you had asked me, what do you want to do ahead now, Pooja? I might have said that don't want to give GMAT anymore. And I think I did say, I don't know, because I was pretty upset then and I was saying a lot
mm,
of
mm,
stuff to you. So I think that day it was a very bad breaking point. But this time when I sat for the exam, I did not think that the anxiety was my enemy. I rather thought that the anxiety was a part of me, and I accepted the anxiety. I said that it's all right. I can be anxious. I can be scared. It could be that I might walk out of here with a 570 in my hand. I could walk out of here with a 740 in my hand, or a 650 in my hand, anything in my hand,
mm,
but doesn't matter. Today is the day I'm walking out of here with this, with a sheet of paper with the score in it. Whatever score it is, I'm not canceling it. I'm taking it with me home, and I'm going to be super proud of it that I did it today. And I think that that attitude that I had in me, which I'm going to tell, is not going to be something that if I said it's going to happen easily or adopted, it can be adopted by any second person. It's just something that has to happen or come from you, from that person itself. It's you can watch as many inspiring videos you want, but if it is not you yourself thinking it like that, it wouldn't work. And I think that including with the encouragement that I got from my family, from my friends, from you, from, like, from literally from every person who I am very close to, I think that is also something that helped me, because that kept me emotionally stable.
mm,
And that's what you need sometimes when you're upset. You
mhm.
just need that love around you. That's it. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. So you mentioned one thing, that it was not your ability, and I second that your preparation was going all well. You were scoring quite high in the mocks, yet you were not able to get to your target score on the actual GMAT. So it's not always about the ability. Sometimes, yet test anxiety can play a huge role, and it can impact your score as well. So what did you do after that? How did you prepare for the next attempt in which you ended up scoring 710?
So I continued revising, and I think that that's one of the brilliant things that EGMAT focuses on. Not just the fact that eGMAT focuses on. I think every platform out there with GMAT focuses on how you need to keep revising your notes. You need to focus on your error logs. You need to focus on you like on the strategic reviews that you do. And I think that like the way egmat helps you strategically review things, it's also very helpful, because when I approached the concept of error log, I knew what error logs were obviously before egmat, but I never used it because I was like, all right, I'm writing down notes, right? I'm writing down what's the issue, but how is that being any different now? So why should I do the error log? And but it's totally different when you're strategically reviewing. You're basically critiquing yourself, and you're being ruthless, and you need to be ruthless. And it's not that you're going to go and show that error log to other people. So sometimes people just don't want to do it, or too lazy to do it, or just think that, oh, it's fine, I know what the issue is, so I don't need to write it down. But sometimes when you write it down, those issues are bits that you forget at times. But then when you read it again, you're like, oh yeah, I had made a calculation error here, or I had forgotten to consider cases in this particular situation, and I shouldn't forget considering cases the next exam I do it. So, those bits you just need to revise, and that's all I did. I just revised, and I did like I replayed a few of my quizzes that I did, and I just gave, like, even the mock exam that I gave was in gmat.com of the free exams that I've already given like 1,000 times. So I just gave it just to improve just to kind of put me into that exam environment, like just to make me kind of not as anxious as I would be when I walk into a GMAT center again, just to give me a taste of it again. I just did that exam again for that. And yeah, I just kept it pretty simple. I did not do a lot of new questions. I did do a few,
Mhm.
but I just went more deeper. I delved more deeper into my time management and into my segment chunking of questions and all those bits. I just tried to dive more deeper into that, and I think that's what helped me. um, because even like you saw my timing, which was all like 2 minutes and less, and that was like
Mhm.
so fabulous for me. When I looked at it, I was like, yes, I could do it. I could get my timing in control, which was what I wanted. Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned one thing, that your error log actually helped you identify why did you falter. It helps you with the revision. So in
Hmm.
essence, if you're not capturing your information anywhere, it becomes extremely difficult for you to firstly revise what you have
Hmm.
already learned, and secondly also
Yes.
identify why do you falter repeatedly. Because if you have captured
Yes.
all of that in a very organized fashion, you can actually drive out insights out of it. You can analyze
Hmm.
that, and based on your
Yes.
insights, you can then also take necessary corrective actions, right?
Hmm.
You
Yes.
mentioned that you were facing actually some timing issues as well, especially in
Hmm.
the mock test. So what did you do in the exam to ensure that you do not fall in this trap of getting stuck on one question? How did you ensure that you're not running behind at all at any point in the actual exam?
I would say I just adopted or literally forced it inside me, the concept of let go. Literally, I had that Frozen song playing at the back. Let it go, let it go. That's all. During the exam, because I had a very bad tendency that I just kept solving and solving. Let it be a verbal question or let it be a quant question. I just kept doing that, and that kind of resulted in me wasting a lot of time. But then and also when you are stuck between, say, two options and you're just confused, I think that is also something that made me like kind of get stuck in questions. I was just confused between options, and I just had to keep looking at it. And also the fabulous bit about it was, which really helped me, was the timing matrix that you sent me about how much amount you need to give to a particular question, or what is the desired amount. And once you see you hit that, you go ahead, just go ahead, like just give up, just go ahead. And like that's what I did. I just literally, I know that you shouldn't be watching the clock, But
Mm-hmm.
what I tried to adopt was not watching the clock as much, but not too less as well. So I just kept, like, I tried to keep pace with my work, and when I thought that I should go ahead, I should go ahead. And it took a good few tries. I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't tell people to go and actually give the GMAT exam 5 times or something. No, I wouldn't tell that. But I would say that yes, the concept of letting go is very important. Yeah. And the timing matrix definitely helps you in that. Yeah.
The fact that GMAT sort of is quite strict if you get a bunch of questions incorrect, and
Hmm.
if you're not careful about the timing bit, that can actually happen. You'll be left
Yes.
with a huge shortage of time towards the end.
Hmm.
You'll end up
Hmm.
skipping 4 to 5 questions, and GMAT is brutal on that front, and you would never want to be in that situation. So
Oh,
never
no.
fall in love
And
with
I
any
have.
question.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. That, I mean, it's
Yeah.
time to move on. You have to tell that to yourself,
Yes.
just so that you can do
Yes.
justice to the questions that you will face towards the end,
Hmm. Absolutely.
right? So you scored 70 on your fifth attempt, right? And that's actually a proof that if you stay consistent and if you do not give up, you can definitely get to your target score. And
Absolutely.
now that you have, so what are going to be your next steps? What are your future plans?
So, yes. So, I plan on applying for business schools, but more focused on the European business schools. But obviously, I have, like, I do want to even branch out to some US business schools. But obviously, my main eyes are towards HEC Paris and IESC, because those are the colleges who I've been in touch with for a good while now. And I just think that I would be talking to them and seeing what my next steps would be, because I've developed a good connection with them, and I think they would be very happy after I tell them my score. So I think that's going to be something, part of my next step. And also it would be focusing on improving myself, like in other aspects. Like I want to, like, kind of adopt other courses that I can do, and
Mhm.
actually don't want to stop studying completely, because once you stop, it's very difficult to go back in.
Right.
So I think I might just kind of focus on self development. And
Mhm.
I'm going to help, like, there's another friend of mine who wants to take GMAT, so I might be helping him.
Great.
And let's see, in a way, not leave, like, he could be a next member of e-GMAT, who knows.
Okay, so all the best for your future steps. And if you need our help at all, you can definitely reach out to us. Shraddha can help you out. We have a team who can help you out. And thanks a lot for being such a diligent student. I thoroughly enjoyed working with you, and it was just an amazing experience to work with you. So thanks a lot
Yeah,
for
it
that.
was same here. It was same here. Like, you know what a talkative person I was, and you dealt with it, and that takes guts.
Right. Thanks a lot,
All right.
Pooja, for your time, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.